awful, terrible, very bad, no good day. On my little break, and I'm like, I'm gonna do some homework. And this is where I choose to do it on the side of the bed. By the time I came into my room, I dropped all my book bags and jackets on the floor, purse on the bed, calculator. Okay. So I'm like, boom, I ain't done homework like this on the side of the bed since I was in high school. But today we finally got to get in the lab, and I've been saying I want to touch, I want to hands on. So I finally got in there, and I realized it's not as easy as it looks. And the thing that's the most difficult, besides um, trying to figure out what goes where, like while you doing it and you writing down what you measured out, and how is a particular way you got to measure it out. And I'm like, I don't want to be a scientist, and so I got to work the problems out, and then you got to ask them to check it. The most difficult part for me is when you measure it. You measure with a purette and a burette. Let me see. Hold on. It's on burette and a pipette. I ain't even got the things down, but I know what it is when I look at it. And with the pipette, you gotta you make it a suction, but then you gotta get right over the line just a little bit, and then you gotta use your finger to hold the suction, and then you lift your finger up just a little bit at a time to let the water out to get where you need it to be. That is not easy because you have to, be quick and precise. So I asked him, I said, what's better to do? Like hold the tip of it with my most dominant hand so that I can, because the way he holds it really, really tight, that he was like, it makes an indent in your finger. I don't want that. And so, but I want to be precise. And then when I was making sure it was precise, or trying to be as precise as possible, it was taking me more time to go back and measure it. And so then when I get close, I get nervous. I'm like, oh shit, I know I didn't get this at 10 on the dot. And he looked at it, and he agreed. Like when he would ask me, and I would want to tell him what I thought. And then like one time we said the same measurement. He was like, and I'm like, I'm guessing, sir, because these lines, they get the wiggling and stuff. My allergies are messed up. So my eyes, I've never had my eyesight to be this wishy-washy before, but I'm fighting with Perry. So last night my eyes just started itching really bad. I woke up and they were full of everything, and so they were red and puffy and stuff. And then we had to wear some safety goggles, and I was like, I don't want to shout out to the co-parent, the baby daddy. I was like, I don't want no share the goggles that's in there, wipe them off, and then risk because I took my own alcohol. And I was like, I'm gonna wipe it off myself, and I'm gonna order me some goggles. And because they were a limited amount, he was like, and we were just working with water, so he was like, it was okay to use these. So thank God this has a little bit of 1% power that helps me read those lines. But baby, I'm gonna need a magnifying glass to be able to keep on, because they are not the newest, in my defense. So they've been used a little bit, but the measurements, if you count the lines, they still there. So, I come home and I'm like, okay, I got just a little amount of time before it's pickup time. So when I left the school, I set a reminder of what time to, take my break so I can go pick up and give myself a brain break as well. But now I'm doing homework, and child, I'm starting to rethink this going back to school thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting with these thoughts because I get it, but it's a whole new world, and I've never gotten this far. This is my very first chemistry class, and it's not easy. They said it's not easy. Half of the kids in there are the kids, they are the age of my kids or younger. But it's cool. It's a few older ones in there, but this is the most tedious thing. That's exciting, but it's nervous energy too. But I have to give myself some grace. Like, this your first time in this lab using this kind of stuff. Yeah, I watched the videos, and then he did some demonstrations too. It was even like with the pipette. It has a suction. Like, you have to make sure that you suck the air out before you put it on, and then if you touch it, then you contaminate it. But we was just using water today. And then he had a newer one that he was like, you could just roll up. And so he didn't show it, and I'm like, hey, show us how to use that one. He was like, yeah, because that one's ancient. That bulb is ancient. I got one of them things and couldn't roll it, because you got to be kind of quick. Everything is fast, pace, fast motion. And so you got to be real quick, and rolling the thing didn't work, and then rolling it up. And because I'm right-handed, so I'm holding it with my left hand, trying to roll it up, and then I got to try to jake it off real quick and hold. And I was like, give me the little bubby thing back. I've used one of these plenty of times. Let me go ahead and use that. So that's the first time I've ever used this equipment. It's the first time I've ever seen it. So I have to give myself a little grace. And then I'm trying to also understand, like, I'm working with some negatives, because these allergies. And then I have outside of school obligations that I have to fulfill. Blah, 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 that nobody really cares about, but it has to be done. And a lot of the time I'm the only one to do it. So I am learning to give myself a little grace, because I'm like, hey, you 12 days. Is it 12 days today? 12 days post-op. Yeah, 12 days post-op. You are back into stuff like full swing. I didn't sleep last night, couldn't figure out why, but could kind of tell why. And then my cycle came on, so it was like, okay, so perimenopause is in full effect, and then there's the regular monthly, and then now there's allergies plus the little hernia repair, and the children, and my mom, and trying to be social and all this. So it's like, so normally when I go to school, I shut off everything else. Like, when I'm in class, I go on do not disturb. The kids and my mom, important calls will come through to do not disturb. Anything else, save it, leave me a message or a text message, because I am focused. I don't have room for error. And that's what I was telling one of the professors. Like, I tried to plan ahead, because I know something like this could happen. And everything that happened today alone was enough to make me be like, no. The kid woke up late, but I kind of understood. We were at a game. Like, I was there for probably 4 hours. So I didn't trip, because I hadn't slept. So when, she finally got up, I was like, okay, well, let's go. Like, I mean, life happens, and around here it's happening, but I'm going with the flow. I'm not fighting it. Why? I'm gonna let it happen. And it's funny, because with the allergies and the eye issues and stuff like that, so I started wearing lashes years ago, and then I got so used to seeing myself with them. I said, without them I look like a dead baby bird. So I was like, I'll never go out the house without no lashes. Eyesight started going, I think you might want to rethink that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go mascara then, okay? And just wear some lashes, on special occasions. They were like, nah, I think you want to rethink that. I haven't had anything on. I did have mascara on probably Saturday and Sunday. And my mom was like, don't scratch them. I'm like, baby, do you understand the kind of itching that's going on over here? My eyes have never felt this terrible before. So I don't want to see a lash. I don't want to see none of that stuff. And I started to think, why did I start wearing it in the first place? To end up here in readers with red, puffy, swollen allergy eyes. How did we get here?